Welcome back, Momocon. How's everybody doing today? Joined here, as always, FCSmiley with my co-host, Bubbles. How you doing?
Thank you, Smiley. I'm doing amazing.
Yeah? What are you excited about the most right now?
Semi-final round, baby.
Oh, man.
We got
Semi-finals already?
Already.
That's crazy.
There have been dreams that have been coming true, being made, and some dreams being dashed.
Oh, my
but
gosh.
It's been a long journey to make it to this point, but we have in this semi-final round a lot of good talent. We have in the top seed Greg and Flowx under tag HD, Sinic and Glooba tag GV, Michael and JPGiviner tag AX, tag 702 baddercookie and Snkz, Ember and Ty with tag SF, and Zay and DeadlyMouse representing Burger Squad BS.
Listen, and there's some cool stories that we want to be able to get to before we get started with these semifinals that are going to take place. First being, let's talk about 702 right now.
Yeah.
So, Snkz and baddercookie, with those two, they both used to live in the Vegas area.
Right.
And they were actually going against each other in those
Speedway.
SNS competitions.
Yeah, all the time.
But guess what? They no longer live there. So now they're outside of that region.
Yeah.
But they teamed up together. So once enemies, now friends.
Now friends. Which is an interesting dynamic because you have to trust your teammate fully in this format. And Snkz and baddercookie, they both know how good each other are, but they would always play against each other.
Yep.
Enemies, now friends, going for possibly the final crown in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What a story that is. And Snkz has been on fire lately in both formats.
Locked
so
in.
I'm excited to see what Snkz can do. Speaking of trust, lots of these players are teammates. I know Greg and Flowx have known each other for about 2 years.
Yep.
They finished in the last round with a score of 222, which is an immense win. They've been playing really well. And I had a little mini interview with Flowx, actually, right before this. He came up to me. He's like, I asked him what their secret is, and this is my secret as well. They play well when they're having fun. And when you know somebody for 2 years and they're such a good friend, you're going to have fun no matter what. So that is their secret. And in the end, it's Mario Kart. It's children's race. You're here to have fun. You're also here to win some money and, the championship.
And the gloating. Don't forget the gloating.
And the gloating, the bragging rights, of course. But as long as they're having fun, which is almost a guarantee, they're going to do well. Sinic and Glooba play for the same team, GV. They know each other. They play together a lot. They trust each other. They're going to do really well. Our third and fourth seeds, Michael and JPG, baddercookie, Snkz, as we mentioned before, they don't play together all that much, but they are star talent.
They are.
And stars, when combined, can do great things. Zay and DeadlyMouse, the bottom seed, coming into here, keeping their tournament streak alive. Zay absolutely popped off in the previous round, carrying their team across the finish line. They absolutely earned their spot here. And Ember and Ty also don't play on the same 6v6 team together, but they are here, they are showing up, and they are ready to move on to the next round if they can.
And speaking of moving on and getting ready for it, we are starting the semifinals, Singapore.
It's a good track to start from the bottom spots here because you start with the coins, you get a shroom maybe at the first item box set, and you move up to the front. That's what you want to do. You want to establish yourself in the front. And what's cool about the 2v2 format is it's basically just a free-for-all, just 2 teams of 6, every player fighting for the finish line. But the way it differs is when you're around your teammate, you have greater security. It's one less enemy in the pack that you have to worry about. So we'll see how this all shakes out. 702's up to the front. That's Snkz in first, Greg in third, JPG in second. There's going to be some items slinging around as people are fighting for space, which is ever so important. That horn is very dangerous. Greg has to back off, and a bomb in first. This is actually a critical point of the race.
It really is, and honestly, you were just speaking about it too, having that teammate that's right there with you to keep you protected, that's going to be huge in what you need to make sure that you secure that top spot. But in the same moment when that does happen, you also have it if you do get knocked out to where you actually can get yourself those spaces that you need just by watching shock, seeing what's happening in the back, seeing what you need to do. So a lot of things there to kind of add to it and make sure you get those spots in there.
Yep, JPGiviner getting hit out to the back. Playing for the back isn't too bad on this track, but time is running out. The pack is pretty close. The distance to first is the thing to keep an eye on. Look at the minimap. Is shock available at this distance? I believe it might be. Blue shell maybe, but bombs coming out. A well-timed star, and here comes the rush to the front. It's not a great position to be in without a dodge item to dodge all those shells in the mid-pack, because when you make your run to the front, you're going to have to deal with all that, and people are going to want to protect their spot, like triple reds from Zay. That's going to be hard to move past.
Oh, and that's unfortunate, though. JPG not getting any of those power items, only having mushrooms to be able to get himself up there. You got to be not liking that pull.
Sinic in fourth in a great spot. I believe if the
Ooh, getting hit out with that green shell right there.
A bomb, it might be a chain reaction. Another bomb available, connects on the back of the pack. Teammate might be in first.
And here comes a late shot.
Blue shell not going to matter that much. Maybe Glooba able to hang on to first. 702 sneaks right behind. Finish is coming up hard, coming up fast. HD doing pretty well.
So honestly, I'm going to say that that shock actually did help Glooba right there, because then a lot of the people lost the items that they would have had going into that last corner to be able to knock them out of that top spot.
Right.
So the fact that that shock happened right with the blue still didn't affect them.
Yeah.
Got that first place in there.
And a shock there is actually normally really, really effective, because lap 3 on Singapore is really long.
Yes.
It's like over 50 seconds, which is super long for a Mario Kart track.
Yes.
And that was right after the last item set. And when the shock comes down and there's no item sets left, you're just on your own. And so you have to look behind you and avoid all that,
Listen, that last little bit, that's chaotic there in Singapore.
Oh, yeah.
So when you know that you got the shock, you don't have to worry about the people coming in behind you with the red shells. You're okay. You're coasting.
You're pretty okay, but, you're vulnerable to getting swished.
You
if
are.
Somebody comes up in like a ghost with triple shells, you always got to be aware. And these players just have to be on top of their game.
They do.
Just
they absolutely do.
The reaction time has to be immaculate and on point in order to survive all of this.
So let's talk about some of these standings that we have right now. So Glooba obviously getting that one. That's going to help out, because Sinic actually got towards the bottom there over at 10th.
Yep.
And then HD getting second and 6th place. They're going to be sitting up on top right there. That's nice to be able to have those two. But they might actually be beat out, though, by 702 with that 3 and 3-5.
Yeah, GV would be in a great position if not for that bomb right at the very end from Snkz, because that was a little bit of a chain reaction. There were no items to protect himself from, or mushrooms to move up in the pack. So just kind of stuck there in that bottom spot, and that's just sometimes how it is. Every item is an opportunity to do something, and sometimes you don't get the right opportunities from the item set. But Vancouver Velocity.
I'm going to say this. Not a fan of this one.
Not a fan? Why not? Is it because you can't drive it?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, there's a reason why I'm up here and not on the stage right now.
We're about to watch some people who can drive it.
Very true, very true. And you know what? We were talking about this a little bit before the match got started. These are semifinals, but in like previous tournaments, you would think that this is the finals.
Yes.
There's a lot of big names in this room.
Well, of course, this tournament is absolutely stacked this year. We had 191 entrants, the most we've ever had by a margin of 47. There is so much top talent here from across the United States, Canada,
bombed right there from
and
Thai.
Europe
That's
too.
Unfortunate.
Yes, this bridge is a very tight space, which makes it especially effective for shells, fire, boomerangs, all of which are available. Speaking of fire, this is an opportunity to move up. He wants to get rid of this so he can take a cut.
But also gets hit from fire from behind, though.
Yeah, only looking forward, not really good, and Zay takes a double hit, which eliminates not only a lot of time, but precious points. Zay has to play from the back, communicating to the teammate, though. How is the teammate...
Beautiful green snipe right there from Greg.
Very good, and you're always fighting for space up in the front, and you're also communicating with your teammate. We see Flowx, Greg's teammate, right there in 2-3. Like I said before, that creates a sense of security. Greg does not have to worry about backs from Flowx. He only needs to look behind him and protect himself, which he's doing right here.
Yep, exactly.
HDN is a great position to move into top 2 here. Sinic has to watch out, and he does watch out for those triple greens, but HD in a great spot, top 2. The blue shell is on cooldown. The only thing he has to worry about is the lightning bolt, but I don't think anybody's at distance to pull it. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, Sinic unfortunately took a bad line right there, got hit out by the greens. But yeah, no, with those triple greens, top 2 spot, you're right. Shock's the only thing they really need to work on or worry about as of right now. We might see a late blue come out that still could affect the top 2 spots, but you know that they're happy right now.
Yep. You want to go for shock if you're GV. I saw them in a couple of the bottom spots, but you can't start like bagging too late in the race. The time is running out. This is lap 3. We're going through one of the tightest sections, the ice rink. It's so hard to navigate. There's icing, there's a bunch of shy guys, and there's a bomb right in front of Snkz. What does they do with it? Is it protection? Is it dropped?
No, you got.
He
Oh,
just
he
dropped
does
on
drop it.
Snkz. Yep.
Snkz. Oh, that's unfortunate. Luckily, teammate was able to get a good spot though for Snkz. I believe they were able to get 310 on that one.
Snkz was anticipating that bomb, but since Zay went so wide into the middle of the track, it was too late to cut back tight, and Snkz unfortunately succumbs to the bomb.
Oh, man, that you hate to see that, too.
You can do everything right, and still, yeah.
Right there at the finish line, just like you said, you do everything right, and then it just all crumbles in that last moment.
Yep, that's Mario Kart. But pick yourself up, dust yourself off. It's only race 2. Still plenty of time to claw your way back up into the top. And you have a teammate. Snkz is at 13 points right now. Teammate was finished just ahead. Baddercookie is at 18 points. So they're pretty middle of the pack here. HD with a, I believe that was a top 2.
That was a top 2, yes.
They're
commanding at this point.
fairly comfortable. But I don't know if I would use the word commanding in race 2.
When your name is Flowx and your name is Greg, you could say that.
I said before, the secret to their success is having fun.
No, it's very true.
So they must be having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not have fun? One top 2 spots right there.
You said you would hate racing on Vancouver, but evidently they love it.
So, but some other big things that we're going to talk about here too is so it was really interesting to see the last match with JPG and with Michael. Obviously, Michael getting kicked out of the free for all, so putting all of his effort into these 2v2s that are happening. But you saw a lot of the like I've talked to JPG a little bit beforehand, a little rusty, like wanted to break off those cobwebs. Felt like that was happening the previous day with things going on. But with that last match, you saw it was a little lower spots than what you would normally see from JPG. So want to see how that's going to kind of go into this match, see if he's going to be able to a little bit fired up on this one, and see how that's going to play out.
You know, I'm thinking it's race, a clean round. It's, new round, new me.
Yeah, exactly.
And JPG, I saw him play the previous round. He is hyper aggressive.
Oh, absolutely.
He makes his presence known in the room.
That's why I enjoy his play so much, because that's me.
And that's just a sign that he knows exactly what he is doing.
Oh, exactly.
He's a storied and celebrated veteran of this game.
Listen, when you have the confidence, it does portray into the track, because you might be able to have the technical skills, the abilities, but if you lack the confidence in there, it all kind of falls apart. Exactly.
You can't do it,
So JPG not only has the skills, he has the ability, but he has the confidence to go with that as well.
And that is a winning combination. There's a little bit of a delay, having some technical difficulties on stream, but,
We'll pick it up, though. We got some things to talk about. First off, 20 years of Momocon.
Wow.
It's insane to be able to see. It's really cool, too. A lot of the cosplayers and things, I've been able to kind of scope it out and walk around and see what they've been doing.
It's been so much fun here.
One of the coolest things that I saw here was they went through year by year and showing like how many people have attended each of the years and see the growth that's taken place for that. Like it just shows you like even though when it started 20 years ago, it might have only been a couple of hundred people that showed up, what it can really turn out to be. And it made things like this be possible. And we're here today because of that.
I saw that display. I saw those numbers, and it just keeps going up. And the numbers also keep going up for the Mario Kart scene.
Exactly.
We love to have so many new players here. I said before, we almost hit the registration cap for free-for-all. We were just one player short. Could have been you.
It could have been you. And it can be you next year.
Yes.
So if you are ever interested in hearing about this, believe me, you've been able to see us kind of walking around, but USMK Racing, you see it on stream right now for those that are watching from home. Like, you don't have to watch from home. You could be here next year.
It's so much fun. And, it doesn't matter if you do well or not. It's here for the experience. I said it before, I'll say it again. You come for the game, you come back for the people.
Exactly.
The people here are fantastic. As we are resuming into race 3, there was no room crash, so we can see the scores on screen.
Perfect.
Still relatively early, so we're not declaring any winners and losers yet.
Yep.
These teams are all viable competitors. There is nobody who is safe. Everybody has to be on top of their game in order to make it to the finals round.
So let's take a look at here. So we got HD in 1, 46 points, 702 second, 31, GV in third with 30, AX 25 in fourth, BS 19 fifth, and then 13 points for SF.
Yep, we're going to Bangkok Rush. Another tour track, just like Vancouver Velocity. This one has an interesting strategy. We'll see if people on the top go for the coins or you just stick to the left. That is a strategy people know about. You just stick to the left, just drive straight, and just draft off each other to the front. I think a couple people are doing that as the lead has changed hands a little bit. Now is the part, second item set, people are going to try and create space from each other. There's a tight U-turn right here. Green shells flying up. We'll see if some blacks come up. JPG anticipated some of all that nonsense and is opting to go around, but he will be rejoining the pack right here. Will he get the defense out, or does he opt to take
right there, baddercookie getting hit out with that back red from Greg.
Wow. Anticipated from JPG. A bomb flies just by, but the investment is paying off. JPGiviner knows there is a shortcut coming up, and also the blue shell is available. I wonder if Greg knows this too, because the blue shell is available. And
but he does decide to go aggressive and does get JPG out right there with that banana.
It's at a high level. I don't think that's a very conventional play, because that's a blue shell dodging item. I'd be curious to see what's in Greg's pocket, to see if he has a horn or something, because that's the only reason you would go for an aggressive play like that, is because you have confidence that...
Oh, no. Unfortunate for JPG again, getting back to the green right there right after the cut.
Yeah. JPG's in a bit of a bad spot, and, you know, the highest spot available for him for the rest of this race might be something like 6 or the middle, but that's just, you just got to keep fighting. DeadlyMouse hit out by a horn. This last 3 is a bit of a tricky one. Bunch of bouncy pads. Triple reds is going to help. It's going to force this star from baddercookie, maybe earlier than he might have wanted to use it. Snkz is in front of baddercookie, available. There's that security.
There's a shot going out there. So I did actually see, it looked like baddercookie was able to dodge that one.
I actually don't know if he did, but you know who did dodge? JPGiviner, moving back up near the front. Snkz passing a couple, growing up faster than him since he got shocked in a lower position. Snkz, a strong showing, shows up in a top
so baddercookie
2.
did. Yep, look at that dodge right there. So you got the top 2 from 702 right there. Wow.
Wow, that shock was amazing for them.
Yeah, you know that they're happy about that one. Whoever gave that shock, you know, you want to go ahead and slide them a drink afterwards. Be like, thank you so much for helping me out.
Of course, if they're old enough.
Here's a Coke is what I meant.
Oh, yeah, right.
But anyway, so we're now getting those tallied up for this next round. But so far, exciting matches, and it's really close so far. So with 702 being able to get those top 2 spots right there, just like HD on the previous race,
right?
Like bounce it right back up to them being
top
on
2 is so strong. How many points is that? 27.
27 points.
Let's think about like an average race, 7th and 5th. That's, I don't know, it's like 12 or 13 or something.
So
it's
doubling,
not that many.
More than doubling what it is that you just did right there.
And some point totals from that we can expect. Some winning teams from last round scored 213. Some middling teams scored like 180. So 27 in one race is a strong push to securing your spot to the next round.
And right now with 702 being able to have that 33 and 25 points between the 2 of them, but HD still having 29 each though, so that does help out quite a bit.
I'd be interested to see where JPGiviner ended up there, because he was hit twice in quick succession, but he did dodge that shock, which is the great thing about Mario Kart, the comeback mechanic, and how it's, I don't want to say exploited, but navigated at a high level. At a high level, I think everybody always has a race plan. You're constantly taking in information.
Unfortunate right there.
But on Koopa Cape, is it really that bad?
No, because you'll be able to get those, sit back, get those bigger items, and get yourself right back.
Okay, that was pretty bad for Cookie, I'm not going to lie. That was completely avoidable. But this is where the pack starts to separate, this shroom spot right here. DeadlyMouse up in front. Zay teammate, that security, but they're separated by triple greens. Oh, yes. Okay. 1 red. Not triples. I thought it was triples for a second. But Zay smartly giving up space. That's a high-level play. Sometimes you just have to give up space. You can't keep the off-road racing line all the time. And Zay has to realize, stay safe, go for mushrooms. The blue shell is out. People are trying to compete to see you not take it. Oh, no, DeadlyMouse.
Take it right there. But you're right, though. Like you were just calling out right there as well, giving them space. You want to be able to do that because it takes a lot longer recovery time when you get hit out than it is to just break a little bit. So give them that space, get yourself in that right position, get the items you do, get yourself back up there.
And it's important to note, not only when you get hit, you lose a little bit of time, but much more importantly, you lose those coins, which is a maximum top speed increase. And if you want to make a comeback, you need 10 coins.
Oh, getting fire right there. Ember, that's unfortunate to be able to see. SF2 being in the bottom spot, you want to be able to make sure you get those higher spots right now, because we are going to start getting into those like harder positions when you don't want to go into it like race 6, 8, and 7, where you're sitting at the bottom.
Yep, Ember got hit, but has mushrooms. That is the comeback potential, and the window is the middle of the track to do it. Sinic also has triple mushrooms in 3rd. That's a lot of distance from 1st place. Able to make a comeback, going to take the shortcut again and contest Flowx for the lead. Going to trail, tell Flowx, no, you back off. This is my 1st place. I'm going to take it for now. No, it gets ghosted. No defense for Sinic. This could be an opportunity for Flowx. No, he gets hit out by Snkz. No, it's actually just like
the item leg. But the blue shell does take out Sinic, and you have Flowx up front with Snkz in 2nd right now, but also has nothing to be able to protect himself.
Snkz his competition. Does Flowx realize this and back? There is an attempt, but it does not connect.
So Flowx 1, Snkz 2.
GV, maybe 4-5, still a good showing for them.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good placement for GB right there to be able to get themselves back up.
Burger Squad bottom two. They had a rough go of it that race.
Yeah,
they were
did.
I liked their position early.
Yeah.
They did well moving up to the front. But
that first blue shell is what kind of started that.
Yeah, that blue shell. I wonder. You have to wonder if DeadlyMouse saw that blue shell on the map, because the top spots were so close. Everybody sees that and like, you take it. You know what? I'm done being first place right now. I'm
gonna just back up, slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
See, maybe that was why I never had to worry about that, because I was never up there in first place.
So because you're bad at the game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I told you, that's why I'm here.
That's why you're here and not up there. We'll leave the good gameplay to the good players up there.
So another big thing that we were talking about too is that not only are we teammates on the track, teammates in the booth.
Yeah.
So it's good to be here with you.
We work well together. We should play a 2v2.
If you want to lose.
But it's all about trust, and I trust you.
Okay, you can trust me to pull shock. That's what it is.
You know, the secret to winning for Tag HD, Greg and Flowx, is fun. And I think I would have a lot of fun playing with
absolutely,
you.
absolutely.
And I've asked a lot. Everybody has fun playing here at Momocon.
They really do.
It's a great experience.
And you can actually, some of the things that we did this year too is we had some field casters going out speaking to the players, and that was the big thing that they did, that they talked about. New people that were able to kind of see it last year going into it, being able to actually participate, be involved with that, big times. So
it's such a great experience, and I would recommend it to everybody.
So we got scores up at the top right, you guys can see. So HD1, 702, 2, and GB3 right now.
And the interesting part is the cutoff point between third and fourth. There's a big gap. That's 21-point difference. Being cut off currently is JPG and Michael, Team AX in fourth. But Grumble Volcano, another shrooming track. Lots of opportunities to come back.
My favorite track right here. I've always loved it, and because honestly, I love that cut that's in the middle, and then trying to do the shroomless cut at the end. The track changes every single round. So a big thing that people don't realize is that you can't do the same lines on every single race.
Yep. You have to adjust. You have to be adaptable, and that's what it takes to play at a top level and play well at this tournament. Greg opts to throw up the red shell, sacrifice some defense. Vulnerable to Michael coming up with triple greens. I wonder if Greg's knows this. He does. He backs out, gives him space, say, you go ahead. You have the right of way. 702, top two. This is a pretty good position for them. Michael is looking to maintain the spot. Blue shell is on the way. Teammate drops for Cookie to take the blue. No, the drop was too late. Sneak takes the blue shell. All of a sudden, not in a really good spot.
And we got enough spacing here. We might actually be able to see Shock and play that comes out here shortly.
Yep, Shock is in play.
There it is.
And there it is. The Commentators curse. I don't know if that's a curse or a blessing. We'll see who it's a curse or a blessing for. Lots of people moving up. The pack has changed spot. Lots of mushrooms in high spots. Pink Yoshi's up in front. Cookie still holding on to first. Defenseless, but a double item set is coming up. But Shrooms behind. This lead will not last. Gives up the space to tie. SF needs these points. The blue shell will be dodged, but a red shell looming behind. Very, very dangerous. Is it used for offense or defense? There's a green shell behind. The decision is made right here. The green shell comes up. It's connected to the boomerang from Flowx.
But it does recover there with the mushroom, though. Coming around this corner with no defensive items. Oh, and there's the back that happens right there. Oh, that's unfortunate for Michael. We were just talking about that just a moment ago, wanting to be able to get those top spots. But then, unfortunately, getting hit out, you hate to see it.
Super well played from Flowx. He's been a top player for so long. The accuracy on not only that green shell, but the boomerang and the double hit back again. And as you were saying before, the reason those hits connected is because the track layout changes on Grumble Volcano.
Yes.
When that boomerang came back, there was almost no track to drive on.
No.
And when you have a super thin section of track, that's where the offensive items are most effective. And that's where Flowx maximized the effectiveness of those boomerang flows.
And unfortunately, though, for Michael, we were talking about that there is a little bit of a gap between the third and fourth place spot. So for those that don't know, obviously top three teams moving on from here. So you don't want to have that things happen. Starts to kind of
Michael
eat away
needed
at you.
that.
He really did. But we'll be able to see how they bounce back from this one.
Yeah, it's a mental game.
Oh, it is.
It is a really mental game. And, you know, that's why you have to trust your teammate. You can pick each other up. In the voice comms right now, it has to be like, okay, dude, there's still plenty of time. We got this. We just pick our tracks. We play our game. We go to the next round, to the final round.
And that's exactly it. And we're going to Daisy Circuit. You know, I have not seen this picked except for one time since I've been casting for today.
Really?
I mean,
I've seen it a couple times.
Have you? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually like this one a lot.
Yeah.
I know that this one's kind of like, some people enjoy this one, some people, I could live without it.
It's kind of middle of the road. Nothing really special about it, right?
There is nothing special about it, which is why I like these type of tracks, because you got to see a different style of play.
Yeah.
Less cuts that you can take, so it's a little bit more of like position playing with your items, seeing what it is you're going to use, hold on to defensive-wise, so that's what I like to see.
The thing about this shortcut, it's very defining. It's only really takeable with a mushroom, but it's such a thin spot, and there's a double item box right at the front of it. So if somebody's shrooming up with like triple shells or triple bananas, those things are coming back, and it is chaos and lightning in a bottle in that shortcut. But the ability to survive that is pivotal if you want to stay in the top spot in this race. As we see, once again, 702 establishing top spots, Sneaks getting hit out, but Cookie able to hold down the fort up there in first with another mushroom. And this is an interesting dynamic. It's just another decision to be made. Shortcut, hold for blue shell. Shortcut, hold for blue shell. Let's see. Red shell is behind. JPG opting to open the shortcut with that red shell and go up. Cookie being pelted with red shells might not survive this onslaught as the blue shell is out. Does he have that mushroom in hand? No, he opts to stop. Who is taking this blue shell? Was it Cookie?
I believe it was, but they did get hit out right there, so they're not going to be able to, or they'll have the recovery that's going to take place, so the blue shell's not going to affect them right there. But anybody nearby, unfortunate.
Sneaks, the teammate, was moving up, but got hit out. 702 not in a really good spot, but the shroom shortcut could be a lifeline. Michael in second needs these points once again.
Nice trail right there coming there. Be able to give that protection that Michael needs right here, and this is actually what they needed right here.
See, the red shell behind Michael, but it's the teammate. That's the security.
Oh, no.
The star comes up. The security is gone. It's just Michael up there for the Team AX. The boomerang comes back, connects with one. Not Michael, though. He's still living, staying alive. The green shells are still behind, and they're up. Still not connected. You cannot hit me.
Michael's
like, float like a butterfly,
enough.
sting like a bee, Michael. How does it come back? Triple reds. All of a sudden, he's on the offense.
Up there.
Moving up into second, maybe even first. No, read it after the line. Michael, a solid second. JPGiviner, where did the teammate
Way to have that comeback right there, though.
Tag AX needs a big race.
JPGiviner,
JPG 11.
11th right there. Oh, that's going to still hurt them for that.
But God, Michael certainly had to fight for that, and he earned it.
It makes me think about like the sweating that's happening. You're like, protect me! I can't recover from this.
I was sweating just watching him because
really
Greg's such a good player. He's so accurate with his teammate is Flowx, which we just saw on display on Grumble Volcano.
Yeah.
So, and that's such a tight space. Lots of tight spaces on Daisy Circuit. In the shortcut, in that little tunnel, lots of chances for green shells to not only connect, but like bounce and connect.
Yeah. And what's really cool, too, about that last corner that you go through, you can opt to be able to stay close, like make sure you take that tight turn, stay a little bit elevated above everybody else. Or if you want to take the safe path and be like, no, you guys go ahead, I'm going to stay down here.
I'm interested to see if that second place is going to matter when this thing comes down to the wire in the later races.
No, each one of these races matter, and that's a big thing that we try to make sure you guys understand is that just because you get a 12th place, 11th place spot, you can still bounce back. Like, it's just one race. There's 12 races in total. It's the overall score that you guys get as a team. So bounce each other up. Like you said, pick each other up and just have fun.
There you go. Choco Mountain. I remember when I first played Chocolate Mountain on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I always hated it.
What? That was one of my favorite tracks growing up.
It's such a tight space. I like in this game it's more wide open.
All right. So let's talk about some of these top spots right here. So HD 108, 702 92, GB 91. So like you said too before, AX dropping even further underneath SF right there. That's a big little bit of a lead right there that you gotta come back from.
The margin has thinned a little bit from 20 earlier to just 13. So SF moving up, GV moving up to third overall, and AX, they need a hero.
Yep.
Will it be Michael or JPG, or, you know, at this point, maybe both of them need to be heroes. We shall see. Anyway, lots of races to come.
Oh, and that bomb coming from Ty is great, giving him tons of space at this point. Almost getting half of the lobby right there.
Massive casualties, and that's what lap 1 is for, creating space, and lots of space up in the front for that pink Yoshi. Teammate coming behind in 5th place. Pretty good spot to be in. There's a villager way in the back, which presents the opportunity for a lightning bolt. And we see 10th and 11th place actually stopping on the first item box set at shock and blue distance. we are playing for a lightning bolt. This is going to be a race of comeback opportunity.
Yeah. And one of the things you want to point out, too, when you're that far back, you got to be careful that you're not trying to pull those golden bills the entire time. Ooh, unfortunate, though, getting back right there and then falling into the water. Not only losing the coins for the green, but losing the coins for falling in as well.
You look closely at Ember's speed, and Ember's just so slow, even in a mushroom. This is how important coins are. Sinic into a star, teammate is close nearby. JPGiviner 5 stars in front, Bills and behind into a star, relative safely, gonna pretty much survive until that double set. It runs into a wall a little bit. Michael's up there in front. Also DeadlyMouse.
Oh, but
nobody's out yet.
Yeah.
Burger Squad in 2-3, looking to make a comeback.
They're like, hey, we've not been too up here before, but you know what?
I didn't hear no bell. Burger Squad's still here, baby. 2-3. Let's see if the Pink Yoshi can put a dent in that. No, Burger Squad, great race in 2-3. Flowx, another strong showing in 4th. Greg finishing just behind. GV in the back a little bit, not looking too good. They were in 3rd place by a decent margin, but that is going to be slashed at this point.
And you're going to be able to see how those are going to shift now. So now with GV having those bad spots coming into it, they had a little bit of a cushion, but that cushion's gone, like you just said.
Just like that.
And so now you start to think for yourself, if you're SF and you're these other teams, like, okay, now's my chance. Now I got to keep being aggressive against them. And you stop worrying so much about the top 2 teams. And you start, where do I need to focus my attention to?
Right.
And my attention is now going to be on GV. Like, I might not be able to get that 1 spot. I might not be able to get that 2nd spot. But I'm coming for that 3rd spot.
Yeah. As the competition goes on, you start to identify opponents.
Yep.
Like, from race 1, everybody is your opponent, and you're just trying to do well. But as the race goes on, you have to give yourself the best possible opportunity to move up. And so the teams that are close to you in the standings, they become your targets.
No, that's exactly it. And that's what I'm focusing on. Because for me, at least, I've always been a mid-pack player. So I know how to be able to give the protection for the runners up there, what they need to do. So that's what I'm looking for. Who is it that I'm going to use my items against? Who am I looking to take out? And that's what I'm focusing on. All right, so where are we going?
Baby Park.
Baby Park.
A very polarizing track in the community.
Really
because
is.
this skill expression is lacking, to put it shortly.
It is. But you know what? One of the things that's nice about this track is that you can bag on this one. And honestly, that's the strat I'm going with here.
Over-under on 4 people going backwards from the start?
I'm going to say over.
Over?
I'm going to say over.
So Smiley's betting over 4 people are going to go backwards from the start. Let's see. This track can be played a multitude of different ways. Usually you don't want to go forwards. Let's see how many are going backwards. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no. It was under.
Wow. There's just 4 people going backwards. So plenty of time to catch up. Coins are fairly accessible on this track. Even though it's a very simplistic track, you still want to get your coins up.
You really do.
Yep. And so the strategy, or lack thereof, that I know of on this track is shock is very, very likely at some point. Some people tell you use your star on lap 4, lap 5. It's a feeling. And if you're on the mid-pack spot or in the back, you want to just keep chaining stars. You just want to keep running into the item sets and just cause chaos, which is the essence of Baby Park. There's a blue shell. It's not going to happen for pretty much the rest of the race. The shock is available. I have no idea who's in first, who's in last. We shall see. That is Baby Park. That's why we're here. We're going to see some items flying around. Red shells going left and right. A bomb and a fire flower is going to be super chaotic. Where is the teammate? Don't want to hit the teammate. It hits himself.
You're going to see the shock happening. Oh, there it is.
You were right once again. There is the shock. There's the opportunity to move up. Lots of people dodge, I bet. Still plenty of time to catch back up.
Oh, nice.
Actually,
start right
no.
there.
Last flap, last turn. SF in second.
Oh,
Michael into first. JPGiviner. They top 2. That's exactly what they needed on Baby Park of all tracks.
You know what? And you know, this is actually something that people talk about quite a bit, is if your races are not going well, pick a track that's going to mix things up.
Yeah.
So if you know that you're not able to get into those top spots, create the chaos, make it to where you can have that happen on tracks like this, or even on DEA to have that.
Yeah, you got to keep believing in yourself and stick to your strengths, but at some point you got to ask yourself, just what needs to be different? Shake it up.
Exactly.
And I don't know if they picked that track. I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't have, but you know what? Hey, they capitalized on it.
You got to use the opportunities given to you to create a good race, and that's exactly what they did.
And you know, and again, you were just talking about it earlier. I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, I didn't hear no bell. They don't ask how; they ask how many points.
Yeah.
And that is the big race that they needed.
And honestly, when you were looking at those points from the previous rate too, so GV did drop down to that 4th place spot, and SF moved up into 3rd.
Yep.
So now we're going to see a shift yet again. That's going to
They're
take place.
changing hands constantly. The only constants seem to be the top 2 teams.
Exactly that. And that's why I said you want to focus on those teams to make sure that you, like, because again, it's about moving on. We're not in the finals yet, so it's not the top spot.
Right.
So
you
we
just need to qualify.
Exactly. You need to figure out where you're going to do what you need to be able to qualify. So you're paying attention to those teams like SF and GV and AX right now to be able to make sure that that does happen.
Yeah. Scores are on screen. There's a tie for 3rd.
Oh, but we did see a shift with 702 dropping down to 3rd, tied with GV.
And AX has caught up. Still in 5th, but caught up.
Look
only 6 points behind.
Close.
Speaking of which, SF in 2nd, only 7 points ahead.
Told you, anything can happen.
Yeah. HD fairly comfortable, but not safe. Never safe in this format. And Burger Squad still not out of it yet.
So, love this track. Big fan of the Maple Tree Way.
Yeah? What makes it good for you?
Honestly, the Wiggler. Because I always like that, like how like open it is, but you never know what's going to be thrown up at that point, because that's a big spot where you can throw your shells forward and hopefully connect with somebody in those type spots. Because you're not like so worried. You're more worried about avoiding the Wigglers that are right there, and the next thing you know, Green Shell comes up and hits you.
So this is good for AX. There's a red shell behind JPGiviner, but of course, we've talked about this before. You don't red shell out first place unless you're willing to take the risk of the blue shell. So it's up to Snkz to defend himself from a 3-4 from GB, which is very dangerous. This Rang is going to go up. Is it going to hit? I don't know. No, the first Rang shot is not hit, but there's 2 more shots on that Rang, and Snkz is in danger. He's trying to protect JPG, the blue shell holder, but it might not happen.
No, it's not going to. So, and a big thing right there, so that cut right there really does help with the positioning. And you see Zay just came out of that cut right there, so now in 3rd spot, sitting with the triple bananas. We'll see, able to connect with the horn, be able to get them out, and they're not, they are going to get, they avoided just barely, but even worse. You hate to see that. You're fending off all these things, and the next thing you know, get knocked off the edge there.
Blue shell is dodged. That mushroom that JPG used was pulled at like the 2nd item set. So held very long, but for a good reason. Teammate in 4th. This is great support to have. GV in 2nd. SF, all of these top teams fighting for crucial points. But this is Maple Tree Way. This is the longest track in the game, right next to Wii Rainbow Road. So plenty of time for another blue shell, a lightning bolt, and triple reds in 3rd is a pretty good item to shake things up. It has not connected with GV in 2nd
play
here.
there, going ahead and backing that instead of just holding on to it.
Interesting. I wonder what was going through his head for that one. But more triple shells. This is a traffic cone, and Michael cannot challenge this for now. So another blue shell coming for JPGiviner. He's dodged one. Can he dodge another with a horn? He did get a horn. He horned it.
That's beautifully done.
But
now,
he's
going to get punished with a red here.
His usefulness has run its course from defending from the blue shell. GV takes first. JPG gets comboed. Right the domino effect. He trails his own teammate. No, we need these points. GV is capitalizing so much for the 2nd blue shell. And like I was saying before, it's a long track. Lots of time for blue shells and lightning bolts, and the blue shells bit away at AX's
So let's talk about that for a second, though. Yeah. So JPG, 2 items to be able to keep yourself safe in that 1st place spot, though. Yeah. Get redded out. You hate to see that happen. Yeah. But then also the unfortunate event to be able to hit your teammate. And that's what the communication is key in these moments, because obviously if you're trailing, you want to make sure your teammate knows, just to make sure that, hey, I'm over here, what's happening. But there's so many things that are happening in those moments. You got to pick and choose what it is that you're telling your teammates to do in those moments.
That might have been a miscommunication too. But good on Glooba for taking advantage of that 2nd blue shell. The horn comes out, but of course after the horn, there's no defense in the back pocket for JPGiviner. So that was the window, correctly identified and correctly executed, because GV need to cement themselves in these top spots in order to move on to the final round. But you're right, Michael was right there supporting JPGiviner, but I could only think that JPG was in a bit of a state of panic, didn't want to fall even farther behind. So that last line of defense that he got from that set, that red shell, that was it. But unfortunately, Michael ran into it, and they kind of tumbled into the finish line. But
a big thing to talk about here now too. So they're going to be moving up those points. Like, they got a top spot there with GV. Yeah. So now we're going to see another shift on who's in the top spots and what's happening. Yeah. I mean, HD, they still have a little bit of a lead that they have going on, but that lead is starting to slowly diminish there. Yeah. So we'll be able to see that even as we go into this next race. Where are we headed to? Ice.
Sherbet Land.
No? Oh, yeah, it is Sherbet Land.
It's very icy. It is not ice out.
You're right. It is Sherbet Land.
That's why we're here. I hate to see that for AX because they were just on the verge of making a comeback. 5th place, but 6 points behind. But now they actually moved up a spot. 702 did not get a good race there, but the gap is a little bit wider between 3rd and 4th, a gap of 9 points.
So this track is interesting. You want to be able to avoid that hole right there because it's a long recovery as we see the one. Oh no, luckily it was just lag, but you drop down in that hole right there. That's a long recovery to have to come back from that.
Yeah, there are a lot of coins back there, and there is a bit of comeback potential on this track, but what we really want to do is take this shortcut right here. This is the best shortcut to take with the mushroom. Ty will be doing that up into first. Needs defense here. Will he go for the double box? No, just a single box. You need to keep that space there. Lots of players would go for that double box, try to get that defense, but the important thing here, which Ty has identified, is you need to keep up your speed. You need to create space up in the top spots. There's a couple coins. This item box could be telling. These players are all fairly aggressive. They should be aggressive against each other. But no, there's a boomerang from Cookie, and Snkz is unfortunately going to be taken out. There was a little bit of security there for Team 702 right next to each other, but all of their opportunities are just being taken away. Snkz redded. The Cookie is out of boomerang shots and just a green shell to his name. The opportunity to move up is dwindling, but that's not all that bad. 4th place is a pretty good spot to be in.
It really is. And honestly, I'm not actually mad at Sinic holding on to that mushroom right there. I mean, just in case there is a blue shell, they decide to slow down on it. They'll be able to get that blue dodge and then secure that top spot if that does happen.
Yep, because the blue shell is still available, so is the shock. There's a pink Yoshi very, very far behind at a good distance to pull the lightning bolt. Also, 10th and 11th place have a small chance to pull it.
Oh, and there it is.
And there's the lightning bolt. That was a good nana back, but didn't affect JPG too much. Wants that double item box. Could provide some security or shortcut potential. There's the biggest shortcut. Not a whole lot of people taking in the top spots. GV up front. Flowx very good with offensive items. He's the one to watch. He's very dangerous. Snkz lurking in the back. Does he move up? Does he keep it for security? The trail is out for Flowx. Do not move past me. I am keeping my spot.
Oh,
Flowx gets
but
trailed
he does
on the
get
line.
trailed out of the line. Sinic getting that one spot. Snkz also getting hit, but still getting over the line before they were able to recover there.
Flowx only drops to 4th. Not that bad. SF last. Ooh, this is gonna.
Yeah, but you see that though right there though. SF Ty, MVP of the room right now.
Yeah.
So that's just showing you why that shift has happened and why SF is still in this. Is that Ty is putting it out there. He's trying to show that, hey, look, we might have started off slower, but we're going to be the one that wins this one.
Yeah, they started off a little slow, but now it's comeback time, baby.
It really is. And honestly, that was the race that they needed to be able to help get that gap that they were seeing before with Team HD and diminish that lead.
And it's a combination of so many things. Identifying the right opportunities to make the move up to the front, defending yourself well, and just rolling with all the opportunities you are given and dealing with the players around you.
And that's a big call out too. So a lot of the times that people, when they're getting into Mario Kart, they don't really think about these things of like what you have to actually think about in the moment. Yes. Whether or not you want to go for that top spot, use your items, or give yourself the defense, because realistically, if you do knock out that top spot, if you're not looking behind you to see what they have, then you could get hit out just like they did as well. And then you're losing those spots instead of getting that second place that you could have gotten. So you're right. A lot of things that you have to go through, you got to think about before making those moves.
There's so many factors that go into creating a good race for yourself. Minimap information, looking backwards, looking forwards, and it all goes into the culmination of an educated guess for all of these players on what is the best course of action for me.
And this is an interesting one. Trainbow Road.
Trainbow Road. N64 Rainbow Road, commonly referred to as Trainbow, because there's a big flying train in the background. Very iconic track. Thank God it's only 1 lap this time instead of 3, because on the Nintendo 64, when this track was picked, I'll see you guys in 6 minutes. But this is great for the bottom spots. You start with the coins. We talked about that before. Coins are so important for your top speed. It carries you throughout the entire race. But this is where dreams are made or dreams are demolished. There's lots of draft potential here. We see a draft coming out, lots of shrooms. I often tell people this right here is the deciding point of the match, the race.
It really
Lots
is.
of offensive items might be coming up. We might see fire, boomerangs. Who has the guns?
You just saw that banana go flying.
A banana off the track. Where is all the violence that I'm used to seeing right here?
Yeah, they're actually playing it safe right here. And honestly, you kind of got to respect that in some senses too, because again, this is not one of those tracks that you can recover easily from.
Right.
So when you do get hit out like that, you want to obviously get those items to get you back up there. But this track doesn't really have that many item sets to get you back up there.
Yep. I was going to say top 4 was all different teams, but now 702 up in the front, 2-3. They're very secure. Ahead of that fire. That fire is an absolute game changer. It creates a lot of space between the top spots and the bottom spots. Another fire. Zay's got to watch out. Oh no, he gets backed, creating more space. This fire is not going to do much. Teammate behind. It's got to go forward. A ghost comes out. Sinic hits JPGiviner. The window is running out. There's almost no time left to make a comeback. Blue Shell is not going to do much. Sinic is up in front of DeadlyMouse. Burger Squad needs to come back. No, the back in the air.
Oh man, that's really unfortunate right there. I know that they're in 6th place right now, but you wanted to be able to get that momentum, keep going, but getting hit out there right at the end, you hate to see it. But great race for 702, 2-3 spots right there, because they were out of that top 3. They're trying to get themselves back in there, and that's exactly what they needed to be able to do so.
They have been absolute warriors through this entire round. They've been hit out at the front, but they've always been able to find a way to claw their way back. I was talking before, this team, they used to play against each other at Speedway. They're very, very good individual star players. But usually to make a good team, you have to play with each other for a long time, which I don't think they have, but they are making it work.
Listen, you can say that for any of the teams that are playing right now, and the fact that like they're up there, it's back and forth. Like we're not just seeing the same one person in first place each one of these races. Like HD does have a little bit of a lead. They have been kind of showcasing why that they're the most talked about team for quite some time. But realistically speaking, when you're looking at those other teams that are in there from like the second, the third, the 4th place, it's a lot of back and forth that's happening.
It's so much, which is exactly what we expected, and that just makes great Mario Kart for the viewership. Final race, the final opportunity to make it into the final round of Momocon 2025. Oh boy. DK Summit, what a race to have this on. This is a very volatile track.
It really is. And honestly, skill. You need skill for this one, just for those cuts that come through.
You do need skill, but for kind of a different reason, because this track is very, I like to say, goofy.
Oh, it really is.
You can play it lots of different ways. One of the defining characteristics of this track is the lack of points. The scores are on screen. HD in a very comfortable first, GV in second by a pretty good margin. SF 152, 3 points ahead of 702, who needed a good race last race to keep in the competition. AX is 20 points behind. Their hopes are still alive, but dwindling going into this final race. We said before, we'll see if that second place that Mike got before would matter. Their hopes are still alive because of that, but let's see if they can execute.
Cookie getting trailed out right there. He was in a good spot being able to have that mushroom just in case the blue came through, but they were able to recover there in 3rd place.
As Blue Shell comes out. Michael was in first. I think he dropped for that Blue Shell.
Yep, it looks like they did, and it looks like Cookie's still up there in 1st place then.
Yep. Smart choice to drop out for that Blue Shell. Still plenty of time for a lightning bolt, which should be coming soon. There it is. Couple people.
Ember, this is a great spot for Ember, being able to have that star with a bill right there in pocket, not having to use it, going to be able to use it at the right moment, get that little bit of a distance that he needs to keep going forward.
Going to use it here. I was going to say don't get it ghosted. I didn't want to curse him, but he does create a little space. So the Blue Shell is a little bit on cooldown, about to be available again. The shock is most likely not going to be pulled until the 2nd set on lap 3, but this is very important. SF is currently doing well in the standings. This would solidify their position. Actually, no, SF is in 3rd, right?
Yeah, they are. And honestly, this is not a good good pull for them right now. Honestly, you want to have that defense. Oh, the Blue Shell is out already. A little earlier than I thought it was going to come out.
I'm so interested to see how Ty deals with this. On the boost pad, smart play, gets 2 coins back and able to maintain. Zay up in the front, mathematically out. DeadlyMouse is up there too. They're top 2. They're making a push. I didn't hear no bells still. Snkz up to the front, fighting for their tournament life with baddercookie. Up in the 4th, wants to keep this spot. Sinic in 3rd. Michael, no, Greg gets hit on the line.
Oh, but gets hit out at the end. Oh, that's a huge
up into
play.
2nd.
Huge play for Snkz to be able to get that second place.
11th.
Oh, no, but baddercookie down in 11th place.
Oh, my goodness. We'll see if that second place mattered. I think it might.
What a finish, though. You got to be happy if your Snkz to be able to get both of them out at that end right there, getting that second place.
Oh, my.
Beautifully done right there.
Wow. Greg was so tunnel visioned, getting Glooba out of 2nd that he had no idea Snkz was creeping up in the back.
Right there.
Randy Orton, like the RKO for the second place.
RKO out of nowhere.
And we saw how close the scores were going into that race.
Yep.
And they were just outside. They were 3 points outside of the top. Baddercookie getting 11th is, not what you really want to see from the teammate. But, second place is a lot of points, and we'll see after we get those points totaled.
Yep, we're getting those totaled up there. And honestly, let's talk about that. What you just mentioned there for a second ago. So a lot of those teams going back and forth between that 3rd place spot, 4th place, and it's been like that this entire time.
Entire way.
And there they are. There are the scores, and 702 does it, getting that 2nd place, bumping out SF and getting in there, moving on to the next round. So you got to be so happy with that play from Snkz, though.
Yep.
Oh, beautifully done. So right there, so top 3 teams, HD, GV, and 702. Congratulations to you teams for moving on. And SF, BS, and AX, honestly, thank you for coming out. Tremendous work from each one of you guys. Did not give up. And look at those scores. Look how close that was.
That was extremely close, as expected. So the players moving on from HD, Greg and Flowx, Sinic and Glooba, and 702, baddercookie and Snkz, they did it.
They
the
did.
Star power shone through today, and they muscled their way up to the top, into that 3rd slot, and into the final round.
And I want to go back to what you said at the beginning about making sure you get those spots earlier on so that you don't have to worry about that. Just imagine 702, if they didn't place well those earlier races that came through.
They got top 2 early, right?
Exactly, they did.
27 points.
So when you get those type of moments, then on these types, then you're able to recover from that, be able to go forward, and now they're moving on just because of that.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Every single race matters, every single lap, every single moment. It's a game of inches, and they made the most of it and got into the final round.
But this is just the semifinals.
This is just one of the semifinals.
This is just one of them.
We have another one coming up next, don't we?
We absolutely do. And that's what's so funny about this. You were talking about like how filled up we were with the players that came out this year. We
Tons of talent.
Missed by one when it came to the free-for-alls, and then just a lot of the free-for-all players also signing up for the 2v2s and the 6v6. So you have a lot of talent here when it comes to people that you've known through the time, but there's also people that you didn't really hear about before that were making names for themselves. Yeah. So if you ever thought, like, this is what I want to do or I want to experience this myself, please do not hesitate. This is where it's at. You'll have a lot of fun with it.
This is the highest level. This is the major for Mario Kart, and you're seeing it right here.
It is.
Fierce competition throughout.
So we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, so next you're going to be joined by Princess Brat and with Rookie coming up here next.
Yep.
So stay tuned. Please don't go away. We're gonna, a lot more excitement, obviously, with the semifinals going on. But anything you want to say before we dip out for a little bit?
Lots more good Mario Kart to come. It's going to be even more exciting. Stick around.
And as always, FCSmiley.
Bubbles.
And we'll catch you later.